7 o'clock tomorrow, 8
Another question. What's the update on you guys? How is it on the contract?
They said they were gonna start the kitchen part of it, but there's no kitchen. They didn't start yet at all. So we're kind of, we'll see how that goes.
Is there a timeline set for them to be done with it?
We didn't hear nothing.
Nothing is.
Yeah. So another thing too is that we were waiting for some kind of update, but somebody said that the funding was stopped. So I don't know. Who's the contractor? Donnie boys. I see Clay Donnie up there, and Stewart. Last name Stewart. Connie Stewart's husband.
And I don't think the contract was stopped, but the funding was questioned because each district was given 50,000 for their playground. And when you got the LATCF budget, the funds, that funding line item for BuzzFeed was 20-something thousand over budget. And so I asked about it, or we asked about it, and the funding was for the playground. And put into the renovation like on the home. And so BuzzFeed will be on the playground because the funding, and it was over budget of 10,000.
And I wasn't aware of that at all. Nobody told me anything.
I'm gonna use my connection.
I was not told anything
Yeah,
about that
I'm
money
just using my phone.
being reallocated to pay for materials and labor for tin on the hall. Nobody said a word to me about that.
Does that have to be approved in the budget when they reallocate something like that?
Should have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
everything, no, we have like concessions on the budget, but like Ranger has nothing.
Rangers funds are still there. Rangers still has 50,000.
Because I got a copy of that budget, and they did 50,000 is still there.
They said it was sitting in my fund.
The money's still there, but, the order was being waited to be approved by the Ranger district.
We should have to meet on yeah.
So that, it wasn't stopped, the funding was being questioned because the money was given to the districts for playground equipment for their communities.
So when are we gonna find out there's a date and stuff that can be
Well,
finalized?
we can talk to Vanessa, but we need to talk about the funding because there was more than one BuzzFeed district that we discussed with the other district.
Well, the thing about it is Norma told me that's your deal. She said you deal with the park money. So I don't know. I don't know why.
But let's just have a
why that
working
changed.
session on that.
So do we get the money back to the playground or?
That's the plan. That's what we're trying to do.
We need to look at the budget and see what's gonna happen.
It's a lot of money, especially if there's supposed to be a playground, and even every district gets money. So when you take it out, should there be some kind of discussion about it, or? Because it just seems like, honestly, you're the only one that really knows. Because if you guys are sitting here in the dark about it, there's no communication on that part, so we can't get a finalized number or date or something that, so our call can be done.
And the only way I found out was, Cheyenne got me the LATCF budget, and I was sitting there, with Mariah going through it, and we noticed that BuzzFeed district was over 20,000. I said, hey, they didn't even buy the equipment, how are they already over?
Right. So she got a hold of me and asked if I had purchased any equipment. I haven't ordered anything. We began to question it. We read the EBR. It showed that the district was 20,000 over budget on the park. So that was how we found out. She told me, and then I was pretty upset because that's a big deal, to me. I've been trying to make something happen with that for about a year and a half, so. But yeah, none of us were actually aware of it that I can remember. Once it was, discussed, nobody had an answer, except for Melissa because she had read the EBR with Mariah. It was the first we all heard of it. That's why I said it's crazy that it's something that we would usually, that's something that we'd usually have to pass in a budget and finance meeting. And I honestly don't remember having a budget and finance meeting where they were going to allocate the park funds to pay for materials and labor on the hall. Because every district, should have been allocated a certain amount for their hall renovations. And I mean, if they had to use money from our parks to help build the hall or renovate the hall, then what happens to the money for the hall renovation? Should have had enough to cover it.
Well, it wasn't done illegally, I'll tell you that, it was done illegally. You probably would have heard that illegally, but we'll figure it out, sit down and go back to it. We probably should get the district, so they're informed of what's left and.
I do agree that there is a lot of total cost of where that money's going to, because it's the last of it. There's a lot of stuff that's still coming up for every district, but if they allocated the money for us, then it should just stay with them. To not to cover any other bills anywhere else, because we're all 5 districts and we all deserve a fair shake at it.
Where's that leave Langer?
And,
You don't even have a home.
yeah, we had that discussion as well. Reindeer at the beginning of ARPA, Reindeer started with $1 million for their home. And, it should have been always a group effort to make adjustments to the ARPA funds. And like Melissa said, I mean, if they were on budget worksheets, so if you weren't there, you didn't know if they made a change. And when we went to our last ARPA update in Billings, Reindeer was down to $372,000 on their building. And they were trying to move money around, and I said, no, leave Reindeer's money alone. I almost said, tell them to leave it alone. Because we started at $1 million for Reindeer Hall. So this was how it went. So in the CARES money, it was allocated for district halls to get fixed. And so Ashland and Bernie were allocated the funds because their halls were in the worst condition, I guess, is the way to put it. And then, Buzzards was very new.
Langer's the main hub. You would think that with that
There
money
should have
that
been
was allocated,
priorities,
Yeah,
this place should have had it all. That way you guys could have had a meeting in there too. I
and,
mean, instead of coming in here.
and it was a priority, by resolution, it was a priority. And it continued to be, and I'm telling you guys, we went to numerous meetings with different architects to get plans set for, I kept telling the leaders and people to get on it, get the plans. And then it would just go by the wayside again, and then if nothing would happen with them. So the money would sit there, and then as time went on, the money started to go away. I didn't know I didn't know they were taking the money from the Ranger District building. But, like I said, like the Ranger District reps, they need to sit down and they need to make a push for the building to get built. $372,000 right now, the building needs to be encumbered by the end of December. So you guys have a few weeks to keep that money.
When you say they on that $1 million, who are you talking about? It keeps being brought up they, the money was taken. You know who's taking the money?
Well, it was the budget finance chair that would. So like we
No,
all.
you can't just blame normally, you can't just blame one person. This was done by
Well, that's what I'm saying.
from day one, money was allocated for the water, money was allocated for that's why it's important, that's why I'm asking for column numbers for budgets, because even for Mighty District to have cell towers, there was money allocated for that. And then it was shifted around by the time Debbie got back from her funerals. That's why it's important to come to work and stay engaged, because,
Also, there's deadlines for those. And not very-
now we have, and we had, very little by the time we got it, so we'll say that, by the time my film started. So, it is what it is, I will say that. We need to move forward, get it done, it's spent, it's done, but not one person was responsible for it.
Is there any way you can track it?
Oh, yeah,
Everything.
everything is documented, it wasn't, embezzled.
Yeah.
It's all documented, there was,
But what it was is, and it wasn't embezzled, it was moved around, like taken from here and put here.
Oh, it's closed?
So there's all the paperwork's in finance, everything's there, nothing was like taken or pocketed, but it was taken from one line item and put in another.
So could
Five people, it takes 5 people to establish a quorum in the budget.
So could 5 people out of here take money out of that money went to? So when you give it a good home? I mean, even if it's something like Columbus's, you know,
Civic center?
like, yeah, their civic center, they got a building there, they got a covering or whatever, a place to meet. I mean, shit, something, guys.
yeah, we can,
If I could share, we have been talking about it for a while, and the last thing that I was requested to do is to put it in resolution to allocate the last bit more at A building. So there is a plan, and it's signed by an architect already, you guys can come along with it, that is going to, is only working with the brick and the HEMA to all of helping her to go for a grant, or the brick grant. And then in the meantime, we're gonna use use the 373,000 for a temporary building. And hopefully we can get it up soon. But when this grant comes along and we get the permanent building, we'll move into that. But it's already tied to land, from my understanding. I mean, I could be a better storyteller, guys, but right now, this is what I have.
and we have discussed it, we have, talked about different options for it. Part of that was FEMA to provide safe rooms. We talked about applying for cohort grant money. There's options out there, but, we just.
Do we have any idea what money's left? Do we?
370.
Just for the district, I mean, but overall, you guys have an idea?
Oh, yeah, it's locked in, yeah.
Is it maybe,
It's all locked in.
Steal it back? I mean, borrow it back?
What's the deadline?
Well, it is, so this is what's left, was, budgeted to keep the demo crew on, basically. And that's a must, because the demo crew also does all of our wells and septic work. We make the, do pretty much everything, but, what's left, we'll keep them on.
We did have a update from ARPA, but everybody was, people weren't present. Not everybody was present. It was decided that changes will be made to the ARPA budget until everybody is back. And so everybody's back.
And that
so we
deadline
can
is
get
like December?
December 31st.
So we'll have to have it, we have to squeeze in a meeting, if we can have it today, that would be great, right? Because I know some of the new council wanted a binder, a binder of everything, so Mariah and, Hope said that they could do it for the new ones that came in, so, and then to get a update for you guys that weren't there, and then to ask and approve the changes that need to be made. I did, since we're talking about it, sorry, Sheldon, I did propose, there was some money left in IT, and our media lady, for the federal council needs a small budget for the printing of newsletters and stuff, and so I proposed to, give her a small budget. So Mariah, change to the art committee. If we can have that this afternoon, that would be great, so we can get it taken care of as well.
So I think they only have a few days to allocate that money and spend it.
It's allocated, most of it unbudgeted.
Or just out.
Yep. It has to be allocated, so, and most of it is, all of it is, so there's just some revisions that need to be taken care of, but, back to your thing, and the reason why, Muddy and Busby now are getting renovated is because they, the commercial equipment that was purchased for all the districts, for the 4 districts, there's no room in the Busby hall for the kitchen, so they had to build the kitchen, right?
Right.
And then fix the bathroom.
Yeah, they had no bathrooms.
And then Busby had to fix their building for the kitchen to go in, and then they did some renovations to their multi-blocks. And at the time, when the budget was approved for the renovation of the halls, some tribal council reps that went out, they did suggest to us when we were ordering the kitchen equipment that Ranger didn't need kitchen equipment because theirs would come with the new buildings that they were planning on using. So at the time, there has always been Ranger district reps that have been.
How
putting aside.
they can afford that if they're getting people to do it?
Well, it'll come with the bill.
So for like Money Hall, it took a lot of communication between me and the district, or our councilwoman, to hold her accountable and our money accountable. So to me, it was like whoever council person was more driven to their community, like Ashland and Vernon. That's where it started. And so I was like, hey, where's our hall money? Hey, where's our playground? So it took me being an active district rep to be able to get out there and come in like every day and follow up, and because our council person wasn't doing anything with our hall, I took initiative to do it. And then I worked with Vanessa, we did the RFP, we got it out, bid it out, Tommy Robinson got the contract. He had a year to do it or whatever, but constant communication between myself and the district rep and asking is my money there, like, can I do this, like, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, and just being a part of the contract with the district, the finance, and having that open line of communication is what helped us get our all done, because if you don't have that, you don't know what's going on, exactly what's all saying here. And I know by working with council and all how that money moves around, and it's not fair when decisions are made and then your money is taken somewhere else, but because I'm outspoken and I ask questions, that's why we got stuff done. So like with our hall, we were allocated like $220,000, and then that meant we didn't get a roof or we wouldn't get new siding. And then when Tommy took our interior siding off, the metal was deteriorating because of the excessive mice and everything like that. So I came back and I presented it to council, written documents, like everything, just like have a paper trail, and I asked for more money to go and get a new roof and new siding for our hall. So that's like how we continue to get things going. But communication is where it needs to happen, and I stepped up and took that role because I know that Gwen and I know Melissa, they did their halls, but the contract for Money Hall is in my name, I'm only a district rep. But it took that to get it done, or else we would be nowhere like Linear if nobody took that step to do it. So make that note that that's where that comes from. Our playground, I made sure to hurry up and get it done because I knew that money could be taken. So like that week that money when I seen Ashland had a dog or at the playground, I asked about it. And to my knowledge, it was supposed to be a district or a council thing, right? To take initiative of it, or was it just money out there?
Well, it was actually supposed to be the district that kind of took the lead.
But you anyway, so anyway, it doesn't matter whoever, as long as we got it done for our district and our kids. So that's where we are right now, but we kind of have a half-ass playground right now because we got the money for the playground, and we're waiting on the demo crew to be able to come and continue to do money allocation anywhere to be able to pay a contractor or whatever to put it up. So our playground is in the hands of the ARPA crew, and with the gravel situation and wells and septics and other projects that superseded our playground, that's why our playground committee district is not done yet. But sorry, Kelly, but I just wanted to put that out there.
And final but not least, part of our district though, last week, you guys had a special meeting. You ad hoc the board. Part of our district thing is that, you know, I was a former tribal leader. I sat in your seats where you're at now. But most of the things that we ever did is that we always listened to both sides of the story. We had to hear what was going on before we even made a decision. We feel it's unfair, and I sit on the board right now. Stuff come up on a Friday, we made a decision on a Monday, you know, that was still under investigation. Things that come up, and to tell you the truth, it just seems like being on the school board and stuff like this, it's getting personal. Things are coming at me even harder than ever, you know. I just feel though that was not fair. If there was a special meeting, I just feel that we just had a place at the table to sit and discuss this like adults. To come and say, hey, this is what, here our side, see what we did. If we did something wrong, then you make your decision. You know, we moved pretty darn fast last week, and and Larry and John and Patty, we don't have a linear rep, but the thing is that it was unfair. I call it really unfair to even ad hoc. What were we ad hoc for? Was it for what happened on a Friday night that we didn't even have a full investigation on? Did we have? There was no answer to us. There's nothing to us, and we're tribal members. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, we put you in there," because everybody put us in there. All we want is answers. You know, there's a lot of things that go on to say that, hey, there was some allegations and stuff, but hey, let us hear it. Let us come to the table. Let us discuss it. Let us give our side of the story. And if you don't like it, then you ad hoc. Was there something illegal? Did we do something illegal? Because, you know, Don Wright, every day I get up and I work hard for this tribe. That was the reason I came home. I've seen all the conveniences outside off the rest, and I wanted to bring them home. I want our place, and our kids don't have to travel that far. I want them to see, hey, yes, it's great to live at home. Every time we have somebody that goes off to college, that first semester they go in, they're the biggest threat to our own reservation. They're the biggest threat because they see it. They see the need out there, and they want to make our reservation better. They want to make it better. They want to bring those conveniences. I'm going to be honest with you. When I lived off the reservation, I was the most hypocrite. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to live on the res because of what goes on. And then you come home. I was once told I was not Busby, but I live in Busby. I grew up in Busby. I grew up with my grandparents that taught us the traditional ways, that enforced it to us. Every time I go by to South Dakota, I stop at Fairview to say my prayers for not only my family, but for every one of your families, for all of us tribal members, so we can succeed in this life. But yet, we come home and we destroy ourselves. They call it the crab in the bucket because this is what it is. We destroy ourselves. We can make it better. Some people just don't want to be held accountable for anything. And so when we try to put our foot down and say no, you become the biggest threat. Why is that? Alexa.
I have a comment, and I did, I agree with what Sheldon's saying, because it took us, to sit down and actually see the board and their, they were non-functional. So we did ad hoc it. We did ad hoc it, and we, it's a lot of work. There was a lot of time put into that board, or into the policies, and Debbie and Silver did most of the work on that. And then we gave it back. We gave it back, and there was an election held, and the people voted that board, and I did express this, on the group chat, because I didn't feel like it was fair, and I will, to the new ones, I will just give you 2 words of advice is to ask questions. And anytime something comes up, it's always best to get everybody to come into one room and sit at the table and hash it out. Because I feel like the council, and I didn't participate because of my strong feelings about this, because we entrusted our membership to elect the board, and just because we're not, or someone's not happy with who got elected,
That's not the case.
That's not the reason.
That's not the
The
case.
facts are in front of me in black and white.
You know, it's your,
I'm talking. I'm talking. You're not hearing. I'm talking. I'm talking.
It wasn't even a hearing. It wasn't.
It should have been a hearing. If we're gonna take a drastic step like that, then it should be a hearing. We should hear all sides. Because the stuff that was presented to me, was probably sent to the majority of you. And that's my opinion. I'm just, expressing my opinion about it, that anytime a major change is, happening, we need to take time to hear it out.
Okay, I'm a parent at Northern Trans Tribal Schools, and I watched the video online, and I'm just wondering about the policy like that he presented from that. Were you guys using that in a group chat, an email, because he stated an email, or he also stated online? Even online, you could see the intimidation, and because those are criminal charges on our tribal. You know, like the laws that Tory wrote that day was official misconduct, the way you guys violated due process, HIPAA laws, everything. This whole thing needs to be investigated, and how do we go about getting that done? Because the endangerment of our children, not one of them mentioned it but 4 times. You were one of them, Gina, you know, like, and I was really glad you said that. But then he was even insubordinate by saying you didn't need to get both sides of the story. You know, you only need to get my side. You know, and then I was totally humiliated because he's my country rep. But you guys didn't even afford due process, and if it was that fast, where's the law and order? You know, these are all criminal now. Like, they've been trained themselves, and these two, look at like what they just did. How disrespectful is that? To jump in with you know, like, and they're correcting their councilman. So I want to know, is that email afforded to all of us? Is that group chat that you guys are talking about, is it afforded to all of us? Howard was the only one that said, can we see those policies? And the policy that he did read, if Tory would have read it in its entirety, it would have saved the whole thing. Instead, he just read the first 2 sentences. It goes down to number 6. If you go down to number 6, it says that the board can jump in at any time in case of emergency. And that's what we try to see happening according to them. It's all hearsay because we didn't get to hear the complaints of the 6 individuals. And I want to know, do I get to press charges as a parent now for the endangerment of the children for that school? Because that's what they're doing.
Explain how we're endangering the children.
Because you came in and decided ad hoc.
That endangers the children?
Was the policy, but you're manipulating your council by not meeting, then you even apologize for it by not saying, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you guys copies. And then by let me read, I can read because I know the policy and procedures of the Northern. Why would you know that if you're just the councilman and you elected, we are public people that elected this school board, and now you want to go back to ad hoc, which has been running there for 12 years prior, who knows? We elected them, the people did. So we should be allowed to say something, you know? You're coming in with that policy book and didn't even give it to your council, unless through an email, was you giving it to them or how? Group chat? I read the policy, 1513, I can quote it right now. You just read the first two sentences, you should have read the entirety of it.
Okay, so you're telling me that the school board can come in and act out of their
In state
capacity?
of emergency, case of emergency on the school.
Okay.
Go read that policy.
Okay, so let's talk about a few things.
Let's get
No,
back
I'm
to-
not-
hold on, let's get back
So,
to the
so,
next
so,
one.
go ahead, yeah.
Stop. Let's
All
get
we
back
do
to
is,
this.
we wanna urge you to veto what has to happen now. Let's give everybody an opportunity to come talk, give everybody a chance at the table, and that's all we're asking. That's not anything illegal. Just let us have our time to talk about it.
It hasn't even been 10 days, it's getting vetoed.
No, I'm asking.
It hasn't even been 10 days, so.
We'll finish up.
That was one of the reasons why I asked what was the chain of command on that, when they were trying to do this. That's why I didn't participate either, because I wanted to hear all sides of the story. And we need to all remember to be open-minded and fair to everyone. And that's why I didn't come to that meeting, is because we needed to know. That's why I asked and no one answered me. I said, what's the chain of command? No one's personal issue should have been put on live feed. That's a violation right there. You guys saying it's not a hearing, but, you know, we needed to follow the chain of command and who it was supposed to go to after. It shouldn't have been straight to the council, it should have been maybe to the president, because the president and the vice president handle personnel issues. We don't as council. That's not our job. That's all I want to say.
District updates. Any more district?
Somebody just,
Val's here. Val's here she can give more update on the